Are you? TrackRX is back and welcome to another The Elder Scrolls Online video here on my channel, guys. And today I will finally show you my new Warden build. And this build is kinda unique because I'm playing with double dual wield, and the reason for this you will see later in the video when I show the sets. First I would say, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we take now a look onto the stats of this build. And here you guys can see the unbuffed stats of this build, and now I'll show you a screen of the fully buffed stats in Zero Deal. We had Emperor, so without Emperor it would be only 33k maximum health, and our sustain and weapon damage is buffed with the continuous attack buff. But still, without the buff we have also some great magicka and stamina recovery, so we can spam our heals, we can spam our attacks. This is perfect sustain for this build. We hit our 8k weapon damage and 11k penetration. With the extra 9k resistance debuff that we hit with the sub assault on our enemies, we have like 20k penetration and over 8k weapon damage. I think this is some decent damage that we can hit here with this build. I also switched the race. I'm not a Woodef anymore, I changed it to Imperial. Woodef is still good, but Imperial for me is a bit better now. Since we play hybrid builds with magicka and stamina skills, Imperial is perfect for our sustain. I'm going here with 39 points into magicka, 20 points into health and 5 points into stamina. This for sure depends with your race. If you get some other max stats, then you have to change this a bit. Check that you get around 30k maximum health, this is important. I'm going with the Warrior Mundus. Weapon damage scales with our Ice Burst here, so weapon damage is perfect. You can also play with Lava, but then you will lose some healing power. I'm going with here also with the Clockwork Citrus Filet buff food. Here you can also play with the Witch Mother buff food, it's cheaper. Clockwork Citrus Filet is a bit expensive. Okay, now I want to show you guys the sets that I'm using, and we start here on the front bar with two maces of the Wretched Vitality set. Wretched Vitality gives us the sustain that we need, a huge buff for our magicka and stamina recovery, and some extra weapon and spell damage. I'm going here for a non-honed mace and a sharpened one. And I have some poisons equipped. The poisons that I'm using here on the front bar are minor brutality poisons. That gives us extra 10% weapon damage, and stamina drain poisons. Poisons are really important for this build. You will see it when I show you guys the second 5-piece set that we are using here on this build. But first I show you my back bar. And this is the second dual wield bar. And here I'm going with two perfected Black Rose swords. The Black Rose dual wield weapons, they got a huge buff with the last update. The buff down there, the Spectral Cloak buff, is still the same. We still get every 2 seconds, for 2 seconds, extra 6% damage, and we take 6% less damage. We still have the same amount of stamina recovery, but they buffed the Blade Cloak. The Blade Cloak is now 30 seconds active. We have a duration of 30 seconds. This is crazy. We can hold it active the full time. So we can also hold the Spectral Cloak buff here the full time easy active. And it procs also on the front bar when you use the Blade Cloak on the back bar. Another thing that also procs are the poisons from our back bar. They can also proc on the front bar with the Blade Cloak. And this is also very important for the second 5-piece set that we are using here in this build. And I show you now how it works. Look, when we use the Blade Cloak here on the back bar, I can switch to the front bar and go to the dummy. And you will see down there the Spectral Cloak procced and also the poisons procced from the back bar. And this is insane for the second 5-piece set that we are using, because the second set is the Moonhunter set. Where is it? Here, the Moonhunter Sash. Moonhunter gives us 2 times weapon damage, some extra critical chance, and when our poison fires, we increase our weapon and spell damage by 550, around 550 for 8 seconds. So it's easy to hold the poison, the buff active. When we use poisons on our back bar, we can proc it with the Spectral Cloak, and on our front bar we can proc it with the light and heavy attacks, and also with the spins. The next one piece that I'm using is one piece of Trainee for more maximum health, and the mythic that I'm using is the Sea Serpent's Coil that gives us 430 extra weapon damage and the Major Berserk extra 10% damage. Now I'll show you the traits and the enchantments that I have on my armor. I'm going on the full armor with 3-stat enchantments. 5 pieces in impen, the chest here in reinforced, and 1 piece in well fitted for extra dodge roll cost reduction. On the jewelry I'm going full swift for the movement speed. We're using the Sea Serpent's Coil, so we lose some movement speed, and we fix it with 3 pieces swift and full weapon damage. Okay, these are the sets that I'm using here in this build. 5-piece Moonhunter, 5 pieces Wretched Vitality, Black Rose dual wield, and the Sea Serpent's Coil mythic item. Now we're gonna take a look onto the champion points, and in the blue ones I have equipped the Focused Mending for more healing done with single target heals, Mastered Arms for more direct damage, Biting Aura for more AoE damage, and Occult Overload that the enemies explode when they have a status effect on them. And by the way, with the Arctic Blast. When you use the Arctic Blast before the enemies die, you have a high chance to apply the chilled status effect, so this is perfect for Occult Overload. In the red CPs, the green ones are not important for PvP. In the red CPs, I'm going with Celerity for more movement speed, Relentlessness for the major protection after we get stunned or feared, Pain's Refuge for the extra 2% damage reduction for every 2 negative effects, and Sustained by Suffering for more sustain. Okay, these are the CPs that I'm using here in this build, and now I show you the skills. On the front bar, I'm going with the Super Sword or the Deep Fissure, the Magicka morph now. The Screaming's Cliff Racer is also the Magicka morph now. It gives us some good amount of weapon damage when we hit a off-balance enemy. The Bird of Prey, Arctic Blast, Whirling Blades, and the Dawnbreaker of Smiting. On the back bar, I'm going with the Northern Storm. By the way, you can also play also very good ultimate, and I use it also sometimes, is the Ice Comet. You can also play it on the back bar and switch to front bar. This also works. It's some crazy damage. As a Warden, we get extra 10% more frost damage, so the Ice Comet hits really hard on a Warden. And it's also a very good ultimate that you can equip. You see it. The Dawnbreaker 14k unbuffed, and the Ice Comet already 18k unbuffed. Fully buffed, I think it's over 23k or so or more. I'm not sure right now. Crazy. Yeah, Ice Comet is also a very strong ultimate, especially when you play in group PvP. You can stun all the enemies, they fly up, and you can all push them. This is very, very powerful. We play now the Blue Betty. Yeah, we don't need so much stamina recovery now. We play a lot of Magicka skills, so I'm going now with the Magicka recovery here. The Living Trellis, Restoring Rigor, Quick Cloak, and the Ice Fortress buff. Okay, these are the skills that I'm using right now here on my Warden build. And if you guys have still questions to this build, feel free to ask me in the comments below. We see us in the next video. Have a nice day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I put some gameplay now at the end here. And we see us. Bye bye.